weird at all. That's so strange. We've just stuck a Rift exhaust on this car, which is, well, for want of a better word, flamey. It's really, really loud and it sounds fantastic. You can really hear that sort of flat plane crank action through this thing, and it does actually throw flames. But this is the extent of the project that we've got going on with this car, which, by the way, is a one of one that was literally made for us. We're going to show you a little bit of this. Oh, look at that. When we get the door, it'll make sense, but there's a concave section on the 720 which sort of starts about here and then flows out towards the rear of the car. I can see you're so pumped. He loves it.
Naturally just disappears into the volcano. Norello, the lighter Norello that we've done, naturally just disappears.
Just on this
in here,
leading edge of the arch.
Of the rear quarter.
All right, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Logic. Anyone who hasn't tuned in fact, before we go in there's quite a few people that tune in who've never even heard of the channel, so welcome. This is my daily driver 991 Gen 2 GT3. Now, we recently had it completely resprayed by Logic. The substantial feature of Logic paint is that it's actually removable, so it goes on as real paint because it is real paint, but it goes onto a removable membrane, so it goes on like paint and you can remove it like a wrap. Now, we put on a ducktail right there. We put on a JCR exhaust system, which makes it sound like a cup car, and we are on 52,700 miles. So when I say daily driver, I mean daily driver. We actually have quite a few cars down here at Logic right now for logistical reasons to unfold soon, but the 355 is here. That's ultimately going to be a project car. There's a lot of things planned for this. Stay tuned. All right, here we go. So Logic is a vehicle repair, preparation, paint center. This is an example of the wide breadth of things that Logic do. They are currently prepping a Defender for full restoration for a company called JE Engineering. And one of these tasks is removing all of this tar-based sound deadening. Pretty nasty job, right? It's like sticky, really sticky work.
Sticky.
Oh mate, look at that. That is crikey, yeah. Literally every time I walk in here, there's some different project going on. We've got a Ferrari FF over here, which is pretty cool. And this is the man himself. Today's 720S super hyper paint job update.
Actually, try and explain how difficult it was because it's been that hard.
That hard?
It's probably been about 45 hours to do the job and 40 hours to think that hard to explain it.
We'll show you that in a minute. First of all, we'll show you what's in the shop. Woo, look at this. Is this Meson blue? Meson blue? Very cool. So 992 GT3, this is in for what's known as liquid PPF. As the name would suggest, that is paint protection film applied in a liquid form. And the genius of that, it means that there are absolutely no join lines, no seams, no stitches, no compromise anywhere on this car. The 720S just stuck a Rift exhaust on this car, which is, well, for want of a better word, flamey. But this is the extent of the project that we've got going on with this car. Look at that.
That's 4 different colours.
4?
We've got original Norello, and then we've lightened the original Norello each stage and blended them in together, so there's no stop and start.
So that's a proper fade, not a flick. That's a genuine fade.
Absolutely, yeah. So a flick would be where you see the differences.
Sure.
You cannot see where the colour's gone into one another. It's completely
It's
seamless.
just a seamless transition.
Seamless transition. And then what we're missing here is a quarter panel that we'll show you shortly, and that then continues this fade and gets lighter and lighter and eventually just disappears.
It's like staring at a constellation of stars. Look at it. I'm obsessed with painting cars now, mate. That's it. I'm done. I'm speccing cars in black and from now on, because it doesn't matter. This is where it's at. Yeah, so pretty big project for the 720. I know it looks fairly intrusive, but honestly, it's effectively just taking off the exterior body panels. And look what else is back. So this landed touchdown from its Emirates flight a couple of days ago. So cool to have the Senna back in the UK. It's in for some TLC before we eventually get it out on the road. Right, so in my haste on the Dubai Autodrome, long story short, you know those polystyrene braking yard markers? Which honestly, if you walked over to one and just sort of pressed it, it's soft, like
soft,
polystyrene. It turns out at 140 miles an hour, they're not that soft. So I actually clipped the wing mirror of the Senna, and it popped the glass on that side. So Logic ordered us new glass. One of the things which has been annoying me about the more conventional PPF is the join lines that you get, particularly on round surfaces. You can't get that sort of smooth line. So we thought, I want to see what this liquid PPF's like.
PPS, paint protection spray.
Yeah.
I like to call it liquid PPF because
Liquid
it's
PPF.
a film that peels off.
Sure. So we thought, let's apply it on there because I'm frankly sick of stitch lines. So this is it.
So we've got mirror join here. We've also got a mirror join here. So three sections of PPF.
You can see it, look, all the way down there, you got that line there. See that line?
There's a piece here.
Yeah, you got a stitch line here, you got a stitch line there, and a stitch line under there, look.
We had to change the mirror glass, we've had to take the mirror off, so we took the opportunity and we said, well, let's use liquid. This has still got to have another layer of lacquer and clear coat to get it to the thickness and quality that we want. However, just as you can see,
No stitch line, sir.
One piece. So
One
this
piece.
has been sprayed. There's not a single piece of PPF in any area where you would have to join. It's just one layer of PPF.
So this is it,
So the art piece.
front to rear.
We've got a front wing, a door and a quarter panel, and also on the 720 they have the door mouldings, which are a huge part of
course.
the door that kind of cover most of the sections, so we've done those as well. So this is yet to be re-lacquered and sanded, so there's a few little imperfections that will be completely taken out and then re-lacquered. However, this is how we start. So original Norello on the bonnet, which will match the bumper perfectly. We then go to exposed carbon fibre.
Okay. Yeah.
And then we've got a nice straight line here that we've done.
How have you done that? It almost looks embossed.
I know, so it's quite thick, so we've gone over and there's a lot of paint here. So that will actually go a little bit less protruding, but it's a nice sharp separation. Which
This is then going to connect with that.
the section you just saw on the bonnet goes to here. By the way, exposed carbon fibre. This was completely primered panel, so we've done all of this and had this.
Oh, look at the
intricate.
line.
Yeah, we're gonna get this.
Look at that line
sorted
there. Oh mate, it's so crisp.
And that's
Nice.
also protected in liquid PPF as well.
So this exposed carbon has got liquid PPF
Liquid
on it.
PPF, and this has got Logic paint.
So it's protected.
We've now got two fades on this panel, which makes this job hugely technical and intense and difficult. So there's a render, and you can see on the render that there's a centre section. When the door and the quarter on the car, there's kind of like a circular, oblong
Section,
kind of section.
yes.
We wanted a fade in that section. However, we also needed something on the top of the door. So we've done like a miniature fade, like quite a small one, from the front door to like maybe a quarter of the way down. So you start to see the colour. It goes Norello and it gets ever so lighter, lighter, and then it goes into, disappears into Volcano.
Straight into Volcano.
Here we have colour number 4.
At this stage, you're at
this
4
stage is
already.
4.
Halfway down the door.
4 into here, and then it really gets kind of disappears. And then we've got the last final pinky kind of colour that just disappears.
I love how this line here, rather than continuing on, actually follows the subtle contour of the arch.
Correct.
That's trick. I'm out of breath listening to that one. Sounds impressive. This looks factory, this paint. So this is a matte paint.
This is an Ad Persona matte Logic paint. What we did is we put a Logic painted fleck into the colour, you see it?
Nice. So it's satin metallic?
So it's satin black with metallic pearl fleck in it, as you can see it there.
That's so cool.
6 months old, this paint. Customer's done 5,000 miles. Typically, if you had a matte car, painted car, what was the first thing you would do if you had a matte black car?
But you PPF it straight
PPF
away.
it. And it's done 5,000 miles, fine ownership.
So this is without PPF?
This is Logic paint.
Because it's basically bulletproof, this stuff. So there's a property within the paint, which is like a sort of elastomer, which basically makes pebbles bounce off. So one of the things that really highlights actually the substance of that is just look at the state of the radiator there. So that's the kind of impact that the front of this car's been having.
Which is normal.
Yeah, which is totally normal. And then look at the surrounding area of paint. No PPF on that. That's just the inbuilt protective property of Logic paint. That's the craziest example I've seen yet, mate. That's unbelievable.
Thank you. Yeah.
So cool.
We're really proud.
Look at that. Same here, I assume. Yeah, look at that. I mean, that has taken some impact, and all around the paint's just impervious.
But all I will say is a matte black factory painted finished. It's done 5,000 miles. You find a stone chip on that car. You can't find one. You just
So true.
Even these wings. You know, normally
I'm really impressed with that.
This would be peppered in stone
Yeah, it
chips.
would, yeah.
And it really isn't.
Wow. So this weekend, we've got an excuse to get the 4 litre out. It's been a while. It's been a while since we got this thing out. We do have some plans in the pipeline quite soon to, well, let's just say, upgrade the garage. Not in terms of cars, in terms of the physical location of the garage, because yeah, some cool things happening, and then we'll be able to have all of the cars in one place at the same time, which I know doesn't seem like a big deal, but in all of the years of the channel, we've never actually done that. So it's going to be great to have these under one roof. Been wondering where my glasses have been going lately. We keep dropping cars off at Logic and it turns out that every time I drop off a car, I seem to leave a pair of sunglasses inside the car, and we've just reacquired 4 more pairs of specs, which I've been looking for the last few weeks. Anyway, that's it for today. As always, thanks for watching. We shall see you next time. Ciao.